What's up, everyone? Today, we're going to be covering one of the biggest beefs in the music industry, Spotify versus Apple Music. See, with this beef, it's a little bit bigger than just Drake versus Kanye. I think we all know somebody who's just completely against switching to Spotify. Why? Not sure, but I'm talking about those people. Before I do this, though, it's important that I understand, and you understand, the competitive rivalry framework. So let's break this down like a business version of Rap Beef 101. First thing we got to look at is competitor analysis. See, with their market commonality, we're looking at two companies basically fighting the same exact markets. Music streaming, podcasts, global markets, whatever it is, we're looking at the same artists, same labels, same subscriptions, and the same goal. They both want complete control over your entire audio life. With resource similarity, we're talking about big corporations. These two have huge tech teams, exclusive artist deals, massive marketing budgets, recommendation algorithms, and even global distribution power. So yeah, they're not just rivals. They're basically clones with different personalities. But what's really driving this competitive behavior? As far as awareness goes, I'd say they're both pretty aware. Every time Spotify drops an update, we're looking at an Apple Music update following like 3 days later. And every time Apple flexes something new, Spotify's going to tweet about it. And motivation, it's pretty obvious. Apple wants to dominate because it's just going to push people deeper and deeper into their Apple ecosystem. Whereas Spotify wants to dominate because that's all they have. They only do music, and it's hard to compete against Apple when Apple has so many avenues. For their ability, we're looking at Apple, who has insane resources. iPhones, Macs, AirPods, the whole system is locked in, where Spotify has superior data, better algorithm reputation, and a lead in the podcast sector. Needless to say, both have the ability to throw hands and some money. Now it's time for the fun stuff, competitive rivalry. What we really got to know is likelihood of attack. See, as far as these two company goes, Spotify attacks first. A lot. See, they're the first mover in personalized playlists, the first to push podcasts, the first to push an AI DJ, and the first to create Wrapped, which everybody loves. Where Apple responds with replay, spatial audio, their big exclusive deals, and integration with every Apple device ever created. And because Apple is huge, their attacks hit. I don't know. Something's not sitting right with me. This is all starting to look like in 5th grade when we'd have the book fair and two girls would fight over the last Smencil. I don't know. Maybe I'm in my head. Anyway, let's look at response times, shall we? So with Apple, they're going to respond fast because reputation matters. But Spotify tends to respond when Apple tries to restrict them a little bit, kind of like when the App Store had the fee drama. As far as reputation goes, Apple is premium, luxury, it's polished, it's nice. Spotify is kind of fun, innovative, for the people. I don't know. Market dependence, though. Spotify depends heavily on subscriptions. It's pretty much their whole business model. Apple doesn't. Music is just one piece of their entire empire that they've created. So Apple can take more risk because music does not equal survival. For Spotify, it does. So now for the outcomes. If we're going to look at market position, Spotify definitely has more global users, but Apple's dominating the US and all the high-income markets because their iPhone ecosystem. And if we're looking at financial performance, obviously Spotify's making less profit. They have to pay out massive royalties to their artists, podcasts, all that stuff, it adds up. But Apple Music rides on the huge cash machine that is the iPhone. So financially, Apple's safer. So I guess who's winning? I don't know. It's a hard question. It's kind of loaded. Depends on where you look. See, right now in Spotify, they're winning in users. With Apple, they're definitely winning financially. So I guess both are winning, just in different lanes. And here is how the beef keeps going. So every time Spotify drops something unique, Apple's going to come back and either copy it or maybe even improve it if they're lucky. And every time Apple flexes its ecosystem with their iPhone and iPod and Air gadget, I don't know, Spotify's going to adapt its features, the AI tools and the deals and the podcasts that they sign on. So this rivalry just keeps looping and evolving, exactly like the feedback loop in the model. So yeah, Spotify versus Apple Music is the modern corporate rivalry we didn't know we needed. If you like this corporate drama breakdown, smash that like button. Or don't. I mean, this is just for class, so it doesn't really matter. See you in the next one. Hopefully not.